Hey guys, what's going on? So today I'm going to be showing you how I turn my 100,000 coins into about 200,000 coins in around 10 minutes time. So before I go over what we're going to be doing in this video and how to do it, I'm just going to show you how to set up your character. Luckily, there's only two things you need to really do here to set up, so it is going to be pretty quick. So the first thing you want to do is to make sure that you have a crafter with level 50 in all of the crafting skill lines. You can get away with only having woodworking, metalworking, and clothing. The most important thing here is you want to have the extraction passives maxed out in each of these three skill lines, just to make sure that you're getting the most material whenever we deconstruct an item. And the second thing you want to do is also go into your green CP tree and slot meticulous disassembly. This is basically going to allow you to get more materials whenever you deconstruct an item. So yeah, as you can probably tell from the title and from the intro there, essentially we're going to be deconstructing some of the new Necrom item sets to try and get the style material from them, and that actually sells for quite a lot of gold, and there's quite a lot of difference between the price of the items and the price of the actual material. Okay guys, so the first thing we have to actually do here is to go and actually collect the materials to deconstruct. So what we're going to want to do is go to your top 4 trading cities. Okay, so for me that is Eldenroot, Wayrest, Deshan, and also Rocklaw. All you want to do then is whenever you get to these 4 cities is put in a filter in the trader. So my filter would be looking for armor, and also what you'd want to do then is you'd also want to go and make sure that you're switching this after you've searched for all the armor to switch this to weapons, so you're not missing out on those. And just rinse and repeat this for all 4 cities. You can go a little bit deeper past the 4 cities if you really want to, but I personally don't think it's that helpful. So I invested 100,000 coins in this video, and I was able to get 80 pieces of the weapons and armor on the Dead Keeper style. Okay, so essentially I'm looking at spending, you know, just over 1,000 coins per, which is actually pretty good considering that whenever we deconstruct them we have a chance of getting an item that's worth 6,000 coins, and as far as I'm aware it's around a 1 in 3 chance roughly to get the style material extracted with all the CP and the passes we have slotted. So the next thing we need to do then is go to the relevant table and deconstruct these items. Okay, so we're going to go over to the blacksmithing anvil at the moment. We're going to deconstruct 28 pieces of weapon and armor, and we can see from that we only got 9 of the wrappings. Okay, so essentially from the 28 pieces we got around 1 in 3. So even if we bought these all for 2,000 coins each, we're still breaking even, and that's completely fine. So whenever we go over to the clothing station, we can see that we have actually selected a whole 54 items, and whenever we deconstructed those we got 21 wrappings as well as some other materials. So again, we actually made quite a lot of profit there. That was almost a 1:2 ratio, which is actually really good, which means we're going to be making quite a lot of profit from the clothing aspect in comparison to the blacksmithing. And then whenever we go back over to the woodworking table and we're deconstructing there, we have about 12 items. We deconstruct, we get about 4 wrappings. Okay, so back to that 1 in 3 area. Okay, so generally for me, my experience is between 1 in 2 and 1 in 3 for the drop of the wraps. So you'd want to make sure you're trying to buy some of these items for less than 2k, but 2k is the absolute limit. Okay, based on selling them for 6k. Obviously if your server's selling them for a lot more, you can then afford to pay more. If your server's selling them for less, you need to buy them for less. Okay, so keep that in mind. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at how much money we made in total and roughly how long it actually took us. Okay, so if we're being realistic about searching through all of these cities, it is actually quite quick for me, because essentially all I have to do is look for items that were listed in the past day, because I do this quite frequently. So it only takes me maybe 2-3 minutes per city, and there's only 4 cities, so it's going to take me maybe what, 8 to 12 minutes or so to actually be able to get all the items collected. It also only took me 2 minutes to deconstruct every item, so in 10 to 15 minutes I was able to get 100k profit from 100k invested, which is actually really good. And hopefully you guys can do this on your server as well, and it's actually really simple as well. So it didn't actually take much of an effort. I didn't have to do much apart from have a crafter set up. I'm pretty sure most people, if not everyone, has a crafter, and it is actually really easy to level a crafter if you don't have one, so don't be worried if you don't. So at the end of the video we managed to get 34 of these wrappings. Okay, so if we do 34 times 6,000, that means we made 204,000, obviously minus the 100,000 for the investment of buying the items. We made a little bit over double our money. Okay, that also doesn't take into account any of the other items we got, such as like the rubidite ore or the ancestor silk, anything like that, or the purple sort of upgrade materials. Doesn't take that into account, but those again add up over time, not really relevant for such a small sample. So yeah, now just a couple of little pointers on the end of this then is that what I do is personally I check this once a day in the top 4 cities. I just do this. Maybe some days you're not going to find 80 items, you're going to find a couple less. Some days you're going to find more. You can obviously branch out and go beyond the top 4 cities if you really like this method. That's completely fine. You will find a lot more in random places. But this is something that's quite quick and quite passive and you can do kind of daily. So I think it's something you can just add to your arsenal, sort of similar to Ritz. Also just on the selling front, so obviously I have priced these at 6,000 coins each. That is what they sell for, that's what they're worth. But if I want to be the quickest selling on the market so I can sort of corner the market, I'm going to sell them for 5,000. Now that does take away about 25-30k profit from me, meaning I'm not quite doubling my money, but I'm kind of close. But the reason I would consider doing that is just because then everyone is buying from me quickly. I'm getting the sale done quickly, which means I can then go back out and buy more of the item and no one else can really do this method apart from me. So again, if multiple people are doing this method, like whenever this video comes out, maybe you guys should all sort of try not to undercut each other by too much, but it is going to happen probably. So there are two methods. You can either just sell for the recommended average price of 6,000 and just wait a little bit for them to sell normally, or you can be aggressive and undercut people and get yours to sell faster so you can rinse and repeat the method. Either way is fine. If you don't play the game a whole lot, I would just recommend putting them for 6k and leaving it for a little while. But if you play like every day and you're playing for like a couple of hours a day, probably worthwhile undercutting just so you can get like more of these on rotation. So if you guys liked the video, remember to leave a like on it, subscribe for more content like this, and you can also check out my website paradoxeso.com for some written guides in case you don't like watching the full video forms, or if you just need to refresh yourself on part of a method and don't want to watch the full 10+ minute video again.